Welcome to the Redvee TV Instant Fan Reaction, supported by Chapel House for the 2023 season, as we reflect on Saints' 38-0 victory over Wakefield Trinity here at the Totally Wicked Stadium this evening. That is a really hard one to judge.
It is 38-0. It didn't flatter us, but also I think we've left points out there. I think we've left quite a few points out there. It wasn't vintage Saints. I think sometimes we put in performances like that, when you're looking ahead to a big game, which obviously we've got next week, but also against lesser sides because they do raise their game. That said, Wakefield, I'm afraid, just Mason Lino aside, are just not a very good team.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that might be the last time we play Wakefield Trinity here
In Super League.
For ever.
Well, listen, they're not doing well at the minute, and you can't see them getting more wins than those teams around them. They're going to need something to change, and whether that's how they're doing the recruitment at the minute, like bringing Will Dagger in, but they're swapping then good players out. Are they getting ready for the Championship? You could argue, yeah, they are. I feel sorry for the fans of them. I know there weren't many here tonight.
Fair play to anyone. No, fair play to anybody who turned up
on that. Exactly right. That's it. If you're coming here to the World Club Champions and you're bottom of the league, you're probably expecting.
And you've scored 43 points all year.
Yeah, you're not looking forward to a good one.
Let's stop bagging them.
Yeah.
First half for Saints, it was very poor, and it was hard to get anything going when you just keep dropping the ball.
Yeah, the rain started coming down, but the passes weren't necessarily bad passes. I think it was one of them that we took our eyes up rather than concentrating on taking the ball in, eyes up, or trying to force something that you didn't need to. And it was a dog with fleas, wasn't it? That first half. I'm only saying that because they were my first ever words on Redvee TV back in the day that you told me about the other day. But it wasn't a great game. I thought I don't think they looked like scoring, even when they ended up with sets on our line-out. You're not concerned. But we just need to click. We just need that performance. Whether we're gearing up for next week, maybe. But we just need that I don't know. There's something missing. Je ne sais quoi.
How about missing a prop after one carry?
Yeah. Well, again, we go down in the forwards after less than a minute. It's history repeating itself from last week, and it does make you reshuffle, and it makes your props have to do longer minutes. Matty Lees, he only did 65 tonight. Lazy. But no, you do, and it gives people opportunity to get them minutes that you need in the legs. But you're right, it's not ideal, and when you start losing players early doors like that, hopefully it's not as bad as I think we've heard a hamstring while we've been in the ground. Hopefully it's not a bad one. It's just like he's just felt something, and with a bit of rest, it'll be okay for next week. But there's tough things to kind of get over, aren't they?
Yeah, and if not, you've got Iggy Parsi to come back. Saints' best tonight, I thought Johnny Lomax went well. He probably gave us our biggest attacking threat in terms of assists, essentially. Obviously, scored one himself. Looked like the best Johnny Lomax. Harrell once again carried well. And I thought George Delaney, on his first appearance of the season, looked like a Saints prop.
He did, didn't he? We were chatting about it in the warm-up, saying he looks like a proper rugby player. He's not coming in as like a small lad. He's coming in built like a prop. And for somebody so young, he's got some good minutes there. For him to kind of go in, his first involvement, we get a set restart and we score. That's the type of thing you need from your players coming off the bench. That just getting involved in the game. I think you're right with picking him out. I thought Curtis Sirenen went really well as well for us. A little bit quiet defensively, and that's not to say missing tackles and things like that, but it's almost one eye on disciplinary and next week. And I thought he was great going forward, though. I almost think he's a little bit like you don't necessarily recognise. I don't want to say that people don't rate him and he's underrated, but I think sometimes he's one of them players who's got such a high bar that when he does it, you're just like, yeah, that's just a normal performance from him. But I thought he went really well.
Conrad Harrell, a little bit critical of him last week, weren't we? Even though obviously he got the 3 points in the Man of Steel about defensively, but I thought defensively he was good tonight. And he's so good in attack. Even just bringing the ball away, you can guarantee if you're ever under the cosh a little bit, he's going to go and make you 15-20 metres after contact.
Yeah. And I think that's the main thing. Not only the post-contact meters, but the amount of men that he actually needs to stop him. So he's getting 3 and 4 in to slow him down, which then makes you attacking a lot easier because you've got them gaps. Listen, we've put 38 points on him tonight. As I say, there's Matty Lees and Jack Wellsby who have been through with options on either side and kept hold of the ball. So there's 12 points left on the park. But yeah, with Conrad, say going forward, he's like a forward in the backs, and I think he, as I said at the start of the season, it's his shirt to lose. He was sharper in defence. It'd be interesting to see what he's like again against a team who's expected to be challenging for honours rather than Wakefield.
Yeah. I'm smiling a little bit. Obviously, 12-0 at the half. Wasn't vintage Saints. We've come out second half, played 10 minutes, got no points on the board, got a penalty bang in front of the sticks. I'm calling for the 2. And we take the 2. And there was a tweet from, I think it was Kyle Hughes, which made us laugh, and I'm still laughing about it now. Kyle Potter, sorry. And he puts relegators.
It did tickle us, but it's professional, isn't it?
And I said that, listen, it was 12-0. If we carry on being a dog with fleas, you only need Wakefield to get a score on the board and we'll all start panicking. It puts us to 14-0. It makes it a free-score game. It's respecting the opposition, whether the top, bottom, wherever. And as soon as them points go over, we yank James Roby off the field and sit him down in the stand for the rest of the game. And then it was almost like the game was won at that point at 14-0, and that allowed us to kick on and get 24 more points on the board.
Yeah, and I thought Joey Lussick coming on gave us that energy. You like that one, don't you?
Yeah.
But I think Joey Lussick coming on did actually give us a little bit of energy as well.
Yeah.
I think he did spark us. He did take a couple of runs in. He was passing off the floor. Everything that we've kind of said that we want to see, obviously, he's doing, and he's kind of learning that role a little bit more. Not that he needs to learn how to be a hooker, but for us in our game style, how we want him to play, he gets it now. And I think that obviously we did get that little bit of impetus when he did come on.
We get obviously a couple more ties after that. It's almost like play started to stick as well. People started going through gaps, getting put through holes, and that it was for me that last 15-20 minutes probably the best our attacks looked all season. Again, we'll count that we were playing Wakefield, but it's almost like we just needed to get that muscle memory back.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's that thing that just isn't quite clicking. So you need that, even if it is against a tiring team who aren't the best this season. You say it with the utmost respect, but they aren't. The bottom of the pile for a reason.
Going down.
Yeah.
I keep an eye on one of the League forums, and there's some of their fans after last night saying about how they might be struggling to get relegated. You've got 6 points. You're already safe.
Arguably, they are, aren't they?
It would have only took 11 points last season to stay up.
Yeah. So, but going back to our attack, because we're looking a bit clunky, you still need that 15-20 minutes where you look a little bit better, where things come off, where your supporting plays kind of work, where you're putting Conrad through a gap where he's taking plays and just going over the line, where you're mopping up loose balls, where your runs alongside someone that they can pop a pass through to you, all works. You need that, because then you think, well, it's starting to click. We're starting to get there, and to be honest, I think we needed a slightly less workman-like performance tonight. Whether the conditions have helped in that, I don't know. But you do come away from a game like that, you do come away feeling a bit underwhelmed, and we shouldn't, because we just nilled the team and put 38 on them and looked in control. But I think you possibly go into it. I mean, you said, I know you tipped us by 36 on Redvee.
It was that 2 points professionalism
Yes,
that cost me.
It was. But in a tipping league that
And the
we're
fact Tommy
in,
Makinson can't kick out dog's dinner.
but in a tipping league, you said 52.
Yeah.
And you probably do come away thinking, we're going to put 60 on these, we're going to do this. And really, you should temper it to, I said it on me.
It arguably never happens when you tip
Yeah,
it, does it?
Yeah, exactly. So what you need is, and what I wanted tonight was a less clunky performance, and I think it got better as the game went on.
I've mentioned Tommy Mack there. I think Mark Percival's going to be doing the kicking next week. He's just looked off it for a good few weeks, and we keep going round the houses on the conversions, and it looks like Mark Percival's the one with the golden boot at the minute.
Yeah, so leave him on it. That's it. Whether Tommy's carrying something that's just, or whether it's mentally, whether it's physically.
Sometimes you just off it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. Mentally or physically, you might be thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
So, listen, leave it with Percy.
One of the lads who stands with us was saying the sign of a champion team will us being able to just go to Wigan next week and flick the switch and turn it on when it matters. Fair comment?
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully we can do that.
I'm sure Wello won't be wanting that, but are our performances, the way we're playing, just trying to build up to the peaks, and hopefully next week is one of them?
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Listen, I don't think that anybody at the club will tell you that. I think they'll say we're gunning out every single week, but with a big game like this, you're just hoping. And I think your game should rise for these big occasions. Away at Wigan on a Good Friday, massive crowd.
And listen, it's cliche, but it's a derby. Anything can happen. Two great sides. Yeah. It's a shame that Jay Field and Alex Wamsey might not be on the field. It's a shame that Wardle's going to be banned. And hopefully a couple more. You want to see all these players on the pitch, don't you, Kev?
Yes. Well, I'd rather. You know what? You know what? I know you are. I'd rather go out and play their first team and get the 2 points against their first team.
I'd rather they had 13 players banned and we go and get the 2 points.
Do you not remember that game when they played all the kids? And
we reference that every year. I'll never ever get over that day.
They rolled Chris Radlinski out to take over from Jack
Wigan's
Fields.
kids. Do you know what? I'll go to my deathbed as a nightmare of a day. I think we rolled out of the soccer dome. That's where we'd been watching the game. But no, anything can happen next week. It should be a really good day out. Win or lose, yeah. But anything can happen next week, and that's what we watch the game for. Yeah,
and that's what you want in the league. You want that jeopardy. You don't want to watch processions, do you? Or I don't.
Not like that.
No. Where it's just like at arm's length and you're keeping a team away. I'm not interested in games like that necessarily. You're going to get them in a league. It's just what happens during the season.
And that's why Warrington being good for half a year spices things up a little bit. You want games to be competitive. We always bang on about it, but then people moan when they're competitive. Yeah. Listen, I think there's probably only 2 teams this season at the moment, Cass and Wakey, who everyone should be beating. Everyone else should be a contest.
Yeah. Nothing to add to that yet for a comment.
Right, I think that's us done and dusted. Lomax, my man of the match, yours tonight?
Serena.
Okay. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we will catch you in the build-up next week for the big derby at the DW Stadium. Catch you soon. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I've already said it, but there you go again.